The Golden Globes are tomorrow, and so it is time for me to submit my final Golden Globe predictions. I'm not going to worry about the television. I don't know enough about television to predict those. We are all about film here, so I'm going to give you my final predictions for what's going to happen for the Film Awards at the Golden Globes. So we're going to start off with Best Original Song. In my mind, this is kind of a two-horse race. It's between two very Globes picks. It's very Globes picks. That's the thing about predicting the Golden Globes, is a lot of times you can kind of tell the different kind of Globes types of picks. However, in recent years, the Golden Globes have gone through a significant change in their bodies, so these previous Globes wins and nominations and everything may be meaningless in the future. But regardless, I think this is down to Hold My Hand from Top Gun and Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because both of them have very famous names associated with them. They're both great songs as well, and they're both very popular films going on. Hold My Hand being with Lady Gaga, Lift Me Up being from Rihanna. So it's really a matter of who are they going to give it to. The Golden Globes have already proven that they love Lady Gaga with The Star Is Born. Rihanna has yet to receive a Golden Globe before. So are they going to go with their mainstay? The Golden Globes really like giving previous Globes winners more Golden Globes. They go, we've given you awards before, so we're going to give you more. So a lot of people are predicting Lady Gaga. However, I'm going to go out of the way, and I'm going to predict Lift Me Up by Rihanna from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I think it'll be a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful a speech possibly coming from Rihanna rewarding Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and maybe a little bit of a tribute to Chadwick Boseman. And not to give you spoilers about the rest of this video, but I think there may be some love for Black Panther in another category that we'll talk about later. So I think it might be an interesting night for Black Panther. Okay, moving on to score. In my mind, this is locked up. I think it's a lock. Justin Hurwitz for Babylon. It's the most bombastic score of the year. It's fantastic. I'm a Babylon lover. I love Babylon, and I love this score. It's one of my favorite parts about it. What's vying for that top spot for the win against it? Woman Talking, maybe? But there just hasn't been a ton of love for Woman Talking in general all around, which is insane. Is it the Fablemans? Are they going to give John Williams a Golden Globe? I don't know. I just don't think the score has gotten to many other places when it's not as big, it's not as there and present as Babylon. And so I think this award is pretty much a lock. Justin Hurwitz. Yeah, we're going for it. Babylon, score. Foreign film. This is a very interesting race. And it wasn't an interesting race up until the past week or two. Because at first, kind of the beginning of the season, we're like, oh, Decision to Leave is probably going to be the front runner for international film, foreign film category. And then it kind of shifted, and Decision to Leave wasn't getting everywhere, and then RRR was kind of becoming the big contender. So maybe RRR is there, but just recently, the BAFTA long list just came out, and All Quiet on the Western Front just hit in 15 categories. Everywhere that could have hit, it hit. Including Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor, which is awesome. So there's a lot of love for All Quiet on the Western Front. Out of all these 5 films, All Quiet on the Western Front is looking right now to be the most likely of getting into the Oscar 10 for Best Picture. It's right there. Decision to Leave is not quite there. RRR is maybe a little outside that bubble as well. But are we going to go with All Quiet on the Western Front? I'm not going to go for it quite yet. I think this is a film that will start to pick up international film, films not in the English language, foreign film, these categories as we go on into the race. Maybe at the SAGs, maybe Critics' Choice. But I think right now, RRR is still at that number 1. I think this surge for All Quiet is just a little late right now for the Golden Globes. For the Golden Globes, I'm not saying it's out of contention. I think it's even more likelier at other places. But I think for now, we got to go with RRR, because we got to remember that these were voted on a little while ago. Like, this isn't just votes are going right at the last moment. No. I think RRR is still in contention in that first one. I think it's going to be a great moment if they do win. So I'm going to go with RRR as my prediction for the foreign film category. Best animated feature, there's not a lot to talk about right here. It's obviously Pinocchio. It is sweeping, and it will continue to sweep. And there's no other else. They're going to give it to Turning Red. They're going to give it to Marcel. Puss in Boots. Inuo. No. It's got to be Pinocchio. Probably one of the most locked up categories in the race, and very much locked in categories for the Golden Globes. Screenplay. This is interesting. This is interesting because this is kind of my predictions of how the night's going to go. The two big contenders in this category, because the Golden Globes don't split this up into adapted and original, so there's just 5 nominees here. Banshees, Everything Everywhere, Fabelmans, Women Talking, and Tar. I think this is between Everything Everywhere and Banshees of Inisherin. I am torn because I think Everything Everywhere is going to have a really good night. I think it's going to have a really good night at the Golden Globes. But I think Banshees is also going to have a decent night as well. They nominated it in 8 categories. That's insane. That is a massive amount of nominations. I don't think it's going to win all of them, but clearly the Globes loved Banshees. They nominated the most out of any other films. Though I do think that Everything Everywhere is going to have a great night. I think that they're going to share the love a little bit. You see this happen in the Golden Globes. You don't see a Golden Globe sweep often. I think the last sweep we saw at the Golden Globes was back with La La Land. I think they're going to give Screenplay to Banshees. And we'll talk about some other awards that Everything Everywhere will get later. I think Banshees is definitely the more wordier and the more screenplay kind of screenplay. It's got witty dialogue. They like Madonna. Think back to 3 Billboards. I think this is a time for the Golden Globes to go say, oh, we loved your movie. We loved your movie, Martin McDonagh. We're going to give you the screenplay. We're probably not going to give you the director. Might not give you Best Comedy Picture. But we're definitely going to give you the screenplay and actor. We'll talk about that in a second. But I think the screenplay is going to go here because I think the Daniels have the opportunity to be recognized somewhere else. And we'll talk about it in a second. But I'm predicting screenplay to go to Banshees. Let's talk about director. We're right on it. Let's talk about director. This is an interesting race because, all this is just an interesting race. There's a lot of things that can go to 4 different people. It's insane. Don't even get me started about the supporting actors category. We'll get to that. In my mind, this was a race between the Daniels, Steven Spielberg, and James Cameron. And I know we just talked about how we shouldn't completely base everything we know on the BAFTA long list and things that just happened. However, there was key omissions in the Best Director long list. No James Cameron and no Steven Spielberg, who a lot of people thought he was the front runner. And they miss out there. But who was still there? The Daniels. Now, I think them not showing up, especially Steven Spielberg not showing up in that long list there, shows that he is not that front runner. He is not that guy. And that this legacy crap that's going on and this, he's made a movie about himself. We have to give it to him. No, they don't have to give it to him. People want to give it to the best directorial effort. And that is being reflected in these critics categories. Steven Spielberg has not been getting any critics pickups for director. A lot of them are going to the Daniels. Out of this 5, the Daniels are getting the most attention with critics. Obviously, critics are different than the Globes. Very different. But I'm going with the Daniels. I think they're going to pick it up tonight. It's going to be a wonderful moment. There's no reason they need to give it to Steven Spielberg. The lazy choice here is to give it to Steven Spielberg. And don't get me wrong, I love The Fabelmans. I thought that was great. I also love Everything Everywhere All at Once. I liked Avatar. I love Banshees. I liked Elvis as well. I like all these films. It's much more deserving if you give it to the Daniels here. And I think the Globes are going to be cool. I think this is one of the categories that the Globes are going to be cool. We don't often see the Globes do cool things, sometimes annoying things, but I think this is going to be a cool thing they do. They're not going to give it to Steven Spielberg. They're going to give it to the Daniels. Supporting actor, another category that's like pretty much locked up. Ke Kwan. I mean, what is there to say? He is absolutely sweeping everywhere. It's similar to the Troy Kotsur sweep last year, but remember, Troy Kotsur didn't even get it at the Golden Globes. His sweep started after the Golden Globes happened. They gave it to Cody Smith-McPhee last year. But I think Ke Huy is already proving himself so dominant right now. They're not going to give it to I don't think they're going to give it to the Banshee Boys. I think one of the Banshee Boys would be next in line, probably Brendan Gleeson, but you can't look at Ke Huy Quan's performance and not give an award to him. And he's going to give an amazing speech. And his amazing speech is just going to make people want to give him more awards as well. It's just this cyclical nature of awesomeness that is going on. And I love it. Ke Huy Quan, supporting actor. Okay, let's talk about it. Supporting actress. Who knows? In reality, I think it very likely could go to 4 of them. Number 5 on my list right now, we'll start to eliminate things. Number 5, I think, on this list is Carey Mulligan. Carey Mulligan really isn't happening anywhere else. This is just like a Globes thing that they did, and they get it to Carey Mulligan. Oh, we loved you in Promising Young Woman. We're going to give you another thing right here. I think this is the only place that is going to happen. It's the only place that it is happening. Carey Mulligan not going to win here. So it's down to these 4 women. 4 women right here. Dolly De Leon, Carrie Condon, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Angela Bassett. Now, clearly they like Triangle of Sadness. They like Triangle of Sadness. They nominated Dolly, and they nominated Triangle in Comedy Picture when they really didn't have to. And they went out of their way to throw those 2 in. They really liked Triangle of Sadness. As we've proven, they really like Banshees of Inisherin. 4 acting nominations. Carrie Condon included. Jamie Lee Curtis. They really liked Everything Everywhere All at Once. And not only did they nominate Jamie Lee Curtis, they went out of their way to not nominate Stephanie Hsu, but put Jamie Lee Curtis in, which I think is horrendous, and it's happening at other places, and I do not like it. Love you, Jamie Lee. Love you, Jamie Lee. You have such a fun role in this, but you have such a fun role. You have so fun with it. It's such a cute role. But Stephanie Hsu knocked it out of the park. It's the way better supporting performance. It makes me very mad. But there's that. Dolly De Leon, even though I do think that it's possible, I think she's not as well known in the business and within the Globe's history as well. Her first nomination, I think that definitely is going against her. Her film is a little smaller compared to these other big juggernauts. I think this is a really great nomination for her. I'm kind of ruling her out. I think this is between Carrie, Jamie, and Angela. Now, I'm going to kind of narrow this down to 2 now. I'm going to take out Carrie Condon because remember I mentioned that the Globes like to nominate people they've nominated before. Jamie Lee has several TV and comedy nominations. Angela has also been nominated before. Carrie Condon, I think, is a little too new to the Globes body. And I think Jamie Lee and Angela, just for their names alone, will propel them to the top of this list here. And as I've been putting all this together, I thought it was between Jamie Lee and Angela Bassett, and I went, okay, it's kind of just a coin toss on who's going to get it. Which one? They're both going to give very bombastic speeches. They got this, both of them had this just massive energy that you see them on stage and go, oh boy, here they're going to give quite a speech here. They're going to give such a speech. But then I thought, what a cool opportunity. If they gave the award to Angela Bassett and she comes on stage, what is she going to give her speech about? She is going to talk about her late brother, our late King T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman. And she's going to dedicate that award to him. And it's going to be emotional. And she's going to talk about how her performance was a reflection of her own grief and all of our grief in the passing of Chadwick Boseman. And it's going to be an amazing moment. We're all going to bawl our eyes out. I don't think the Globes know this. And the Globes, I don't think, will want to pass this up. So I'm locking in Angela Bassett to win a Golden Globe. Yes, I know it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. Marvel movie winning an acting Golden Globe. But just looking at all the other competition, is Jamie Lee's performance in Everything Ever at Once. Like, think about that. Think about that. Her performance winning a Golden Globe. Like, it does not add up to me. And I liked her in it. It just does not add up to me. Angela Bassett also is working she does not have a lot of screen time. Not getting like massive spoilers, but she doesn't have a lot of screen time in the movie. But when she is on screen, she is a force to be reckoned with. When Jamie Lee is on screen and her little screen time and Everything Everywhere, she's fun. She's doing great. But she's not, you don't get sucked into the performance like you do with Angela Bassett. So I'm going in with Angela Bassett winning the Golden Globe for supporting actress. Boom. Let's do a comedy musical actor. Colin Farrell. This is no competition here. They're not going to give it to Daniel Craig. They're not going to give it to Diego Calva. Colin Farrell. This is a guaranteed win for Banshees tonight. Tomorrow, I mean. Yeah. Hands down. Another pretty hands down one, comedy musical actress, Michelle Yeoh. The only other competition really is Margot Robbie. I don't think the love for Babylon is quite as big and like widely accepted and praised as Michelle Yeoh. And like I said, Everything Everywhere is going to have a wonderful night. So, Michelle Yeoh. Best film, comedy musical. Again, I kind of alluded to it before. It's between Banshees and Everything Everywhere. Though, I'm giving Banshees the screenplay. I'm also giving Everything Everywhere supporting actor. Actress. I'm not giving it supporting actress, but it's close to happening. Are you saying that 2 guaranteed acting wins, possibly 3, and they're not going to get best comedy musical picture? I think not. I think they're going to give it to it. I think they're going to give it to it because they've already given their love to Banshees with Colin and a screenplay. Let's give them best picture. Best comedy musical picture. Locking it in. Okay, let's talk about drama actor. This is interesting. I know I keep saying they're all interesting, but it's just fascinating because it's ever changing here. With Colin Farrell out of the picture, because he's in comedy, this is really between Austin Butler and Brendan Fraser. Ask me 2 months ago, it would have been Brendan Fraser locked up, easy win, done, see you later. But The Whale, critically divisive. Critics groups, they're giving it to Colin Farrell. Austin Butler is a very Globes pick. Think about Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah? Think about Bohemian Rhapsody. They nominated Baz Luhrmann in director. They nominated Elvis in picture. They like Elvis. They only nominated The Whale in 1 category. Not even a Hong Chow. Just Brendan Fraser. Though, I will say, The Whale is still continuing to rake in some money at the box office. Audiences, as opposed to critics, are generally liking it a lot. It's got a 90+% on Rotten Tomatoes for its audience score and about a 66 critically. It's divisive, but I'm going to lock in with Austin Butler. I'm not saying that Brendan Fraser is out of the woods for the Oscar or other places. I just think if Austin Butler is going to get it anywhere, it's not going to be at the SAGs. It's not going to be at the Critics' Choice. Might not even be at the Oscars. Maybe. But I think the Golden Globes is a place where Austin can get that recognition. Drama actress, Cate Blanchett. The other contender, maybe a Michelle Williams. Maybe a Viola Davis. Think it's going to be Cate Blanchett. She's continuing to sweep in critics groups. It's insane. She just picked up a couple more today. Cate Blanchett locked in. And finally, on to our last award, Best Film Drama. This is another toss-up. I could see this going to Avatar. I could see this going to The Fabelmans. Maybe even Elvis. Maybe Top Gun. Avatar is of the moment right now. It's really of the moment. Everyone's watching it. Everyone's loving it. It just recently passed 1.7 million $1.7 billion at the box office. By the time you see this video, that may be out of date. Everyone's loving it. The Fabelmans, very easy pick. If Spielberg ends up getting Best Director, you're giving it to The Fabelmans. However, I'm going out of my way. I don't even know if I want to explain it at all. Top Gun Maverick. I think it might be Top Gun. I don't think they're going to give Spielberg director, so I'm ruling out Fabelmans. I don't think they're going to give director to James Cameron either, so why give it to Avatar when it doesn't get anywhere else at the Globes? I think Top Gun might be the way to go. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Those are my predictions. I'll see you with my reaction video coming soon, and have a good day. This is insane. After I say this all out loud, I'm like second guessing everything. But I'm locking it all in. I feel like this is gonna be an insane night. I'm nervous. I'm nervously excited.